kitchen in Brooklyn with my special guests, Pop Culture Preservation Society, Carolyn, Kristen, and Michelle. We are
The Pop Culture Preservation Society.
Yes, which is a podcast that I love, and I fell in love with it, and I fell in love with them, and now we're hanging out in Brooklyn. It's so fun.
It's so fun.
And we are making food from our past. And what was like the most iconic, easy, like cheater way to cook protein for your family?
Shake and bake.
Yeah. So we're gonna make our own version of shake and bake, but instead of like bad industrial pork chops or like chicken, we're gonna do tofu because you know it's the modern era. And also, women our age should eat soy products because it's good for us. Did you know that? Yeah, that whole thing has changed. So. And I love tofu, and it's like a good, like, it's like a blank canvas for your culinary dreams. That's what I always say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Man, you go
I know.
tofu.
Yeah, tofu. So you should like re-embrace tofu. All right, now this is very firm. This is extra firm tofu. This is
I've
like,
never felt tofu. Should
feel
I
it
feel
up.
it?
Yeah, feel the
I mean,
tofu.
I've eaten it, but I've never
Feel
cooked it.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, your bosom at 12.
Oh, I miss you.
Into just, you know, slice it. Here, why am I doing this? You're the guest.
Because
Somebody
you-
just do halves.
Okay.
So they don't crumble. Yeah. And then put them on the paper towel because tofu is
Okay,
really
you guys-
wet.
I'm gonna-
Yes, look at Kristen
Thank you.
pressing the
Pressing.
tofu. Yeah. So we
Good
just
pressing.
want to get some of that excess moisture out. That's
Okay.
all. Okay, now let's make our mixture, our shake and bake mixture. Okay, so if you know me, if you followed me, you know I have a favorite seasoning, which is Ebbs.
I love it.
We
I
love
eat
the
it on
Ebbs.
everything.
Everything. We love the Ebbs, and we've done a lot with Ebbs. So we're gonna do Ebbs crusted tofu shake bake.
Love
Okay,
it.
modern New York style. But we have to grind it up. So I'm gonna put some Ebbs right in my old-fashioned spice grinder. This spice grinder is probably from like 1981.
It looks it.
It's right. It's very retro. The Salt and Quick Mill. I know. This is like right
Did you
out
order
of
from
my.
this year's catalog?
Probably. Shake and bake was always really sweet. It had a lot of sugar in it,
Oh.
right? So we'll add some brown sugar to that too. Yeah. And we're gonna get this all ground up in our little mill. Right, so
That is darling.
yeah.
So if you don't have a mill, what could you use?
So I'm ordering pestle or yeah, or a
Okay, I
blender.
don't have a order.
Do you have a blender?
I do.
You can grind spices in a blender.
Okay, see, our food processor, right?
Not as finely as a blender.
Yeah, because it would like
Oh, good knowledge.
shoot them around.
Right.
I thought it was the same thing.
Food processors just like fling things around. Right, so we're making our, look at that. Oh, it's like
that's
dust.
beautiful.
Right, so there's our dust out of there.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Now, if we were gonna then like use this grinder for something else,
Yeah.
Careful.
you would put, yeah, it's okay. You put a little rice in there, dry rice, and you grind that up, and that'll take out the smell of the previous thing. And you never use your spice grinder for coffee or vice versa.
You go rice.
The more you know.
Yeah, rice. Rice does everything. Yeah. Okay, so that's the Ebbs and the brown sugar. And then I think what we should also add to this is some of these. So this is coriander, and these
Okay.
we can just grind.
Okay.
Go ahead, and fennel. Yeah, just pop that off and grind some of that. Here, Carolyn, you can grind that.
All right,
And
well,
then
How much? See, I get
Whatever.
Okay.
Don't say what is.
That's probably enough. Coriander's kind of.
I'm struggling with this. Going with it here. Yeah. Okay. Fennel and coriander,
And
then
paprika.
this is smoked Spanish pimenton, smoked paprika, which I love. And
I
think
use that kind too.
Shake and Bake probably had a lot of paprika. I think it was basically sugar and paprika and
Because
salt.
turns
It was
all
red.
orange.
And maybe like
red.
MSG. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it still exists, but
Yeah, we're not going to be
asbestos.
sponsoring us.
yeah. And they'll probably sue me after this. Right, so mix that up.
I
That's
like
our
the kindergarten parts.
yes.
Yeah, I can do
Now we could of course just take our tofu and press it in here, but
that. No, it wouldn't cover it.
we have to shake
That's not authentic.
before we bake. So let's get this into
Oh, look at that.
here.
She does everything better.
Now we're at the stove.
Okay.
Now we have to shake and bake, but we're not gonna bake. We're gonna saute. But you could bake this. It would be fine baked, but we're gonna saute. So we're gonna call it, you know, shake and whatever. So Kristen, would you like to do the honors? Throw a couple of
Kristen's
those.
our best shaker.
I've been so
Yes.
quiet this whole time because I just wanted to do this part.
It's her gift to the world.
Let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground. Let's dance. Let's shout. Shake your body down to the ground.
Let's get this open. And we do this right before we fry because otherwise these will get soggy because tofu has a lot of moisture.
Oh,
So our pan is hot. Now we're gonna add some avocado oil. Avocado oil because you want to use like a high heat neutral oil. Get our pan hot first. Then we add our oil. We let the oil get hot. Okay,
How do you know
this
when
way
it's hot enough?
it starts to shimmer. You can
Oh,
see it sort
okay.
of shimmering.
Oh,
I know that from
Yeah.
Erica's videos.
Yes,
I do too.
because if you try to fry,
from Carolyn.
right, if you saute or fry something and the oil's not hot enough, the food's gonna suck up the oil. But if the oil's hot enough, that won't happen. Okay, it's science.
Good to know.
Science is real.
It is real.
Science is real. Okay, now into the pan carefully. We want to place those in. We do the test. See the test? That's what I call toe in the bathtub, right? Like you test the water. If we're sizzling, we're in.
Like
Go ahead,
in your
ladies. You put them. So give it a little shake and then bake. As opposed to wake and bake, which we all did in college, right? We know what that is. These are going to be amazing. Put in.
Please tell me what tofu is.
Oh, tofu is soy milk that is coagulated with calcium chloride.
You should not have said coagulated.
Well, made firmed. So
There you go.
if you think of like how milk is made into cheese, it's sort
Okay.
of analogous. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Basically, you just use different agents to firm it up.
Okay.
That's what tofu is. It's
Yeah.
one of the world's oldest foods.
I was just gonna say, is it a modern food? But
No,
obviously
ancient
you just
food.
answered my question.
And
Wow.
if you are going to eat tofu, you should only eat organic tofu because a lot of the soy grown in the world is GMO and it's very heavily sprayed with pesticides, so you should only eat organic tofu. You should only eat organic soy products in general.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. So now we are browning. And remember, this is tofu, it's already cooked. It's not like this is chicken and we have to cook it all the way through.
Okay.
So tofu is already pre-cooked, so all we're gonna do is like turn these now just to get them brown. Because really all we're doing here is cooking the coating.
Okay.
Anybody wanna get in there and do it? Yeah. Okay. And it's fragile, so you wanna kind of be careful. You see how it's all.
Okay.
So you could air fry, you could also bake this.
They look like French toast.
You guys, I can
They
bake
do
this.
look like French toast
I
sticks.
think it's so interesting that we have 3 people here who do not cook.
Yes.
Just by
But I
chance.
feel
and,
like-
and all of us are like, we can do
I
this.
feel empowered after this.
I do too.
And you all raised families.
Yeah.
What did they eat?
I cook.
Wherever,
I just don't.
wherever
I made
kids
food.
ate free, whatever
Yeah.
restaurant where kids
Yeah,
ate
really.
free.
We're gonna put them on paper towels because we want to drain a little bit. But I think those look great. You could even, if you wanted this to be a little more of like a crunchy coating, you could dip this in egg white and then
Yeah.
do it, and then you could even like fry them, and that would be pretty great. So we'll let that cool a little bit because that's really hot, and then we'll go back to the counter and we'll taste.
Okay.
See, I don't think it'll suck.
Okay.
No, it's delicious.
It really is.
Oh my god.
You guys, this is the first time I've ever had tofu in my life.
Really?
Yeah, it's delicious.
And it's
I
good.
know.
And the seasoning, I get the ebs,
You get the eggs, you get the sugar,
the
you
sweet
get
a little
the
bit.
smoky.
Mm-hmm.
So good. It's shake and bake.
And we helped.